Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Western North Carolina fishing report with Shannon Big Mess Messer from Tuckaseegee Fly Shop. How you doing, Shannon?
Doing well. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon, evening, or morning, regardless of wherever you are. So I guess we covered all the time zones.
Yeah, there you go. But I would tell you, if you're in the southeast, we may, knock on wood, be kind of turning towards that fall cool-off.
It definitely could be. September, the past few years, has been, fairly productive for us with these cooler nighttime temperatures creeping into the area. We recently just had a cold front move through here. We're setting up for some really nice weather. And in my opinion, in the past experience of many, many years, I think that, September is going to be great, which is going to set us up for a fantastic fall fishing, which at the end of the day, it's just right around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking too. To me, the key always is, what do your nighttime lows look like? And they're starting to drop pretty consistently into the lower 50s. So it's just going to only get better.
That is correct. And that's the one thing that we try to explain to folks, whether they're, in the shop or on the phone, is the importance of nighttime temperatures. When you get the nighttime temperature dropping lower and lower consistently, then your water temperatures have a chance to cool off. If you're low, your nighttime low in a valley is only 67 degrees. It's not going to get no cooler than that. And those are the things you kind of have to look at, which is really unique to the area we live in here, Marvin, as you have your valley, you have your higher elevations with canopy cover. So right now, if I was doing some backcountry camping, with my hammock, I definitely want to have, my sleeping pad, because it's going to be cooler. We think 50s here in the valleys, but you think it's going to be in the low 50s, maybe upper 40s in those areas, which really makes that water happy time for those fish.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what that means, right, is that the terrestrial bite is going to start to wind down. You've got a little ways to go before you start getting some good frosts, but that's going to kind of start to go away, and we're going to start to see kind of that fall dry fly bite into the nymphing stuff that we generally see in the fall, like October caddis, and we'll start talking about fishing orange, right?
That is correct. And you can go ahead and start fishing orange now, really kind of that mid-July on. If you start fishing some orange palmers, you can have some really good success with those, in our national park streams or national forests. If you're chasing those wild brookies in a small creek, wet wading, an orange parachute fly can be quite productive. An orange stimulator right now can be productive. And orange, everybody thinks orange for October caddis. I caution people, there's many different shades of orange. And, sometimes a brighter orange can be more effective than a dull orange. At times, almost like a ice dub type orange can be effective. But when you look at your October caddis, the body of that fly is almost a sulfury orange color. It's not quite as bright. So I tend to tie mine a little bit differently when it comes to that color combination with a darker wing on it. Like you mentioned, terrestrials will start to slow down a little bit. We'll have those things around until we get some consistent frost in certain areas. Caddis, tan caddis, brown caddis have been working quite well for folks, and we've been selling a lot of those in the shop. Once again today, gentleman said he had a great day of fishing with those brown caddis. So more natural type colors that you can fish that are kind of prevalent out there in Mother Nature.
Yeah, there you go. And we've got a question for you too, and this is the perfect Shannon question, which I don't know. Maybe Michael knew that you were going to be pinch hitting for Dale while Dale's out in Montana. But when I saw the question come through on Instagram, I was like, "This is a perfect question for Shannon."
Super.
Yeah, he wanted to know two things. One, your best dry fly pattern for the fall, and then what is your favorite dry dropper combo to switch to after the terrestrial bite is died off?
That can go many different ways, and thanks for the question. We always enjoy those questions, and it really challenges us. And I think it can be answered in many different ways. And if you ask myself, Dale, Bobby, Jarrett, Preston, or whoever, you'd probably get a different answer from each one of us. The favorite dry fly pattern for the fall is the one that's working. But all seriousness, when it gets down to it, I do tend to go more of those orange type colors, or even more of an olive brownish kind of combination peacocky type color, just mixing some dubbings in there and kind of getting that good blend. But I do like fishing orange. I've had success with that particular color for many, many, many years. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, as far as when we get into kind of our favorite dry dropper scenario, past our terrestrial bite, it really depends on the fishery that I'm in. So, for instance, if I'm still attacking wild fish on a day off, or I have a guest that wants to do some of our wild fisheries, that's probably more than likely going to be a stimulator in that orange type color, or a variant of a stimulator. And it could be, your basic, when I say very basic, it could be a basic hare's ear variation or a prince nymph or pheasant tail variation off of that. Or the other thing I like to do as well is actually throw some little midges. I'm not saying necessarily zebra midge. They certainly will work, but something along the lines of a top secret midge, unweighted, and really focus on, the tungsten putty and trying to get that dialed in with those fish based upon where they're at in the water column. If I'm fishing more of a stocked fishery, my go-to setup is going to be a foam body fly with a darker type color. I want that good silhouette. But my go-to, and everybody knows this, is going to be my natural colored IDK with a silver bead.
Well, there you go. And so on your dry flies, I heard you mention stimulator. Do you prefer a dry fly that sits up higher, or do you like something that's maybe like a parachute style that sits a little bit lower in the film?
I kind of let the fish tell me that, because it can go either way. And that's a good point too. So when you get a caddis in the fly bins, like in our shop, I like to leave the hackle palmered all the way through it. But one of the things you can do on the water, and a lot of folks, they don't do, but they should, is if you've got your scissor forceps, you can actually trim that hackle and let it set lower in the water film. And sometimes the fish will that's what they're after. They're wanting a higher riding fly. Now, if you're fishing maybe a little bit faster water, you need a fly that just got to handle that. You don't want a beefier fly, a stimulator type fly, a chubby style fly for that particular water you're fishing. An Atom variant is a high floating fly as well, typically tied with the yellow ostrich hurl, but you could change it out with orange if you wanted to, and that would work also. So there's, a couple different ways to approach that. I like to let the fish kind of tell me, meaning if they're kind of coming up and they're looking and they're refusing, the fly's getting their attention. Is my tippet? Do I have micro drag? Is my fly setting too high, or is it setting too low? And just start to mess with those micro adjustments.
Got it. And folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us or send them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. And if we use your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag. And then we're drawing for something cool from the shop at the end of the season. And Shannon, before I let you go, why don't you let folks know the 3 locations and hours and where to find you guys and all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get to that, just a huge thank you to everybody who brought donations by the shop. Dale got those delivered to the folks over in Haywood County. So I just want to say a huge thank you to those folks that did that. As far as the locations, 3 of them, 3 Depot Street, Bryson City, North Carolina, 530 West Main Street, Sylva, North Carolina, and 110 Depot Street, Waynesville, North Carolina. Where shop hours are 8 to 5 Monday through Saturday. We are closed on Sunday. However, we do guide, 7 days a week. And you can reach us at 828-488-3333.
Well, folks, fall's going to be here before you know it. You owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Shannon.
Tight line, Marvins, and hope everybody has a great day.
Take care.